Cowboys Nation and YouTubers? It's that VA Dallas Cowboy fan coming back at you. How do y'all feel after the Giants scraped by, won their game, and technically are in first place in the NFC East? Ain't that something? It looks like it might actually go down to the Washington football team and the New York Giants competing for first place in the division. There's actually a shot. The two teams we didn't think of might actually win this division with 5 or 6 wins. Cowboys, we're a hot mess. I mean, this is just not our year at all. I can't be mad at the turnout of Thanksgiving game because we lost our two starting tackles on the first possessions of the game. That was going to be a momentum killer regardless of what happened the rest of the game. That is hard to come back on when you're putting Brandon Knight and Terrence Steele right back on the field. And funny thing is, when you ask Mike McCarthy about it, he's going to give you that lame excuse about they came back in cold and weren't expected to just jump right into action. Aren't you supposed to be the backup? Isn't that your job to be ready to jump into action on a moment's notice? My God, you can't make excuses for that. It's just terrible plays. Excuse me. I mean, you literally saw Terrence Steele completely just not even go at Montez Sweat and just let that man grab the interception at the end of the game. Literally, I looked at the film. The man, you hiked the ball, he looked at Montez Sweat and said, hell no, and decided to just stand out in the middle of nowhere, blocking no one. He didn't even try to look at him again. Terrence Steele is just not an NFL player. He's never going to be. That's the reason he's undrafted. I don't know what they were looking at in that scouting department because he's not even close to being an NFL quarterback, NFL caliber right tackle, if anything. He literally made a business decision and said, I will not block Montez Sweat. Jalen Smith, some people praise him for the interception, but I also looked at that play, and he was coming in on a blitz. And as usual, he's mistiming and taking bad angles on his blitz. That's why he's never getting home. And he ran up against the tight end. Now, once he was blocked up and figured he couldn't get to the quarterback, that's when he disengaged and just started backing up into coverage against nobody. He basically disengaged just to stand in the middle of the field by himself doing nothing. Now, luckily, Alex Smith didn't see him when he released the ball, and that's what led to the interception. Now, him not being able to run that ball back for the touchdown, that was a killer momentum swing, especially when you only get 3 points out of it on the opponent's 4-yard line. But what can you say about Jalen Smith? For the last couple seasons, he's been out of position and just misdiagnosing plays and everything. I don't know what happened. It's obvious he can't play ball unless Van Der Esch or Sean Lee is next to him. That's obvious. But, geez, to have this much regression is pathetic. I just don't know what to do with this team. I can't blame the coaches. Everybody wants to blame the coaches and says Mike McCarthy ain't it, Mike Nolan ain't it, Kellen Moore ain't it. But Mike Nolan is dealing with a defense that didn't want to work with him to begin with. So they pretty much screwed the pooch and couldn't figure out simple college shit on defense. And special teams, they're getting outplayed on luckily 2 trick plays on punts that your guys weren't even paying attention to the gunners and just let those guys run wide open. Thankfully, 2 of both times they were flagged and brought back. But Jesus Christ, how do you get that bad at special teams? Kellen Moore. I believe Jerry Jones told him to tank. Because it makes no sense between the 20s. You can come up with some great play calling. And then when you get to the red zone, y'all start doing screen passes and triple reverses and halfback tosses and wildcat and some ridiculous looking shit when you're going in for a score, and it's like they told you literally not to score. 3rd down and 4th down conversions, it still befuddles me how you got arguably the best duo of backs, if you give them a decent line, playing for you, and you can't come up with half a yard. And you refuse to even try to go for it most of the time. If you do, you're throwing the damn ball, and those fall incomplete generally. Just bad play calling. And then you have Mike McCarthy, who didn't get an offseason to implement anything. I mean, some of the first videos we got with him even seeing the team was only like 2-3 minutes long. And that's not going to be helpful because you're in Zoom meetings through most of the offseason. You're not really getting to scout what this team is. You're just going by what Jason Garrett left you, what Jerry Jones is giving you. And, it's not cool. So I can't really get mad at the coaching when some of the player execution is killing you too. Maybe they're overthinking it. Maybe they're just not the team for this coaching staff. So a turnover is going to happen. Offensively, it seems like you got what you need to score, but inexplicably, you get weird play calling when it is time to score and completely shut yourselves out of the game. Defense needs an overhaul. It's bound to happen. We lost pretty much the whole secondary before 2017 when we drafted all these guys, and now it's their time to basically be gone. And we've gotten a long time away from the days when our secondary could actually get second contracts. You see these guys are not making it past their first contracts with us anymore in the secondary. And nowadays we're constantly being the worst statistically bad NFL defenses in history. Something's got to change. Everybody wants to change up coaching, but if you keep changing up coaching every other year, you're starting to look like the Browns, where your offensive coaches are changing every other year and they can't win jack because everything's changing every year. I'm not trying to go that route. I don't need to be changing coaches every other year and thinking, oh, well, these guys can handle it. Obviously not. These guys can't handle changing defensive coordinators every other year. They tried to settle down with Marinelli and Chris Richard, but some of the teachings they gave were bad. I mean, you see, nobody's touched Chris Richard, and they're talking about, well, he's decided to take this season off. No, it's because nobody called you. Marinelli in Las Vegas, he's out there, but they're not looking like world beaters all the time. They're beating teams they should be beating. They've given the Kansas City Chiefs a run for their money, but other than that, that's all I really wanted to talk about right now. Finish up my random ass thoughts of the Thanksgiving debacle. Because I got to go to work, and now I get to run into 2 Washington football fans and have that just reign over for the whole shift. Yay. But we're still number 4 in the draft order. There's lots of talent to be had. If we trade back, there's even more talent to be had. So even when we suck, it's something to look forward to. If we can get a handle on this virus and get a full off season of work with the players that are returning and quote unquote hopefully returning, we can definitely have a squad for next year. But that's my random butt thoughts for today. I hope you enjoy your Monday. I hope you had a safe, loving, and fun Thanksgiving. I did. My kids did. The wife did. It was exciting. We did a bunch of stuff. It was nice to have so much time off from work. I could actually do things instead of trying to cram it into one day. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Cowboys for life. Be a Dallas Cowboy fan?